Right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to an impromptu live feed. It's all kicking off on the US Open. I have two questions actually this evening, which I'm interested to hear your opinions on. So hit the chat up and we'll dive into that. It's not going to be the longest one, I'm sure, tonight. Just I want to get your opinions and anyone who's rewatching this, the opinions of what's happened. Chat is happening already. Joshua, that double bogey, y'all. Hello, hello. Liam Shale, evening, Mark. We're going to talk DJ's TV fine golf ball. I want your opinions on that. And obviously, we have to talk Phil Mickelson and his golf on the run, moving ball putt, whatever you want to call it. Hit the comments up. Let's see what you've got to say. Should be a fun one. US Open, great one, crazy one. Come on, tell me. Right, so evening Bra Adam in the chat. Why not both? I'm enjoying it. Very unlike Phil tonight. Ben, evening Marks up, Bra. What about Phil's quick rake? David Dickinson. Phil left equal. Phil question mark lefty Y. Phil went mad. David Pritchard. I mean, it's amazing, is it? I don't think I've seen anything like that in a major championship ever. I mean, he was literally, that putt was going off the green. I think we could agree it looked pretty definite that putt was going to go off the green. And obviously he hit it on the run. But look, we'll come back to that point. Let's start. I want to get your opinions first off on DJ's find yesterday by Rich Beam, who is out there broadcasting. I presume he's working for a couple of networks. What was your thoughts? Hit the comment section up down below on Rich Beam finding that ball for DJ, which he then stood on, which and apparently gave him a free drop or a better drop. And he went on and didn't make the score. We might have found if he was in the hay quite as bad. I didn't see the incident. I've just seen reports. I've done a bit of investigating, and what I've seen and heard now is it also seems like the TV broadcaster used their footage to try and see where it landed, and then were pointing Rich Beam in the direction of where they thought it went. Now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I don't actually know what my opinion is on it, but it did feel a little bit to me like totally fine, in my opinion. Couldn't happen to anyone. It doesn't matter. It was a broadcaster, James S. So that's interesting, James. So I'm not sure about that. Or maybe I don't know the answer, like I say, but the broadcasters have got to have some responsibility. Similar to, say, in tennis, where they can't show replays now that they can call for the lines and things like that. In football, they don't show replays quite the same as well on the big screens to the audience. I'm not sure that the broadcasters should be looking for the balls, especially when it comes to featured groups. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I would like to know your opinions. My thoughts are initially that the broadcasters don't need to help look for the ball. There are marshals, there are people, and there's obviously spectators everywhere who are helping to look. The broadcasters obviously have an advantage with their footage if they're able to delve in or not. But then that's very uneven from player to player, depending on which player is being recorded or not. We want rubbish answers, all right, Coach? Rubbish gate. It'll all come out, Coach. We all know it was blooming Rory and his rude, chain-smoking Rory, that was. So yeah, the broadcasters, for me, maybe have a responsibility to everyone playing. And as soon as they're affecting the outcome of certainly a ball search, then in turn a score, then in turn the outcome of a event, then maybe there's some other questions that need asking. Maybe. Again, this is not my opinion. These are just kind of counter arguments for maybe what could happen. I'll be interested to see what you say all in the tweets. Ben Cranley, no issue at all with them helping find his ball. Personally, the free drop is the main reason people have taken the issue with it, I'd say. Ben says, good point. Broadcasters should not be involved, completely unfair. Keith, Like, I'm verging on that point. Speeds up play, Jason Nicole. I mean, that I don't get that one. There's marshals out there with that. Pat Markey, agree, Mark. I think the guy down the field losing a ball. Just watching US Open, it's a joke and bad one that Mickelson should be thrown out without a doubt. We'll come back to that, Joe. We're going to do that in a second. Only works if every shot is filmed. Paul Crossland. Nearly a good name there, Paul. Would the opinion be the same if it was a spectator who found it? James, no, because the spectators you can't control that way. Spectators will be free and spread around the field, not evenly. They're going to follow bigger groups, so you have a good point there as well. But the broadcasters are able to use recorded footage and look back. Obviously, the spectators aren't doing that. I think the broadcasters need to be very careful with how they're affecting an event. I think the broadcasters don't want to affect an event, and I'm pretty sure the governing bodies don't want the broadcasters there to assist with people's scores, help them find the ball, so on and so forth. For me, I don't know what I would have done in that situation. There's a part of me in hindsight, and I wonder if Rich Bing thinks this, maybe tweet him and ask him, I don't know, if he feels like he would do it again and just look, or there's a part of me in hindsight now, I'd feel like I would step away. I would report. So it's almost like a reporter, isn't it, at an event where they might see something that's not happening, which is fair, but it's not their place to interact with that. It's their place more maybe to report what is happening, subject to laws being broken and everything. They have stopped people phoning in or emailing, haven't they, if they see something wrong. I see this as a similar thing. Coach Lockie in the chat. I absolutely agree, Coach. This is where I think if it's that fine line, isn't it, between surely it's not far off the phone in, see them do this, and then report it, and a day later they're punished and they lose the event or what have you. So yeah, I'm close to that. I would love to know what the broadcasters' opinions are, if they feel in hindsight that they shouldn't have done it, or if they're happy to do it and would do it again. Not judging, I would just like to know. Maybe someone could ask them and tweet me what their response is, because they tend not to respond to me. During the broadcaster said the camera didn't watch where it went. Tyler Wilson, brilliant. So then there you go, that's great if they don't see where it's gone. But it's certainly in future Opens and events which are being televised, it actually opens up a question where a rule might need to come in to protect all the field against what broadcasters can and can't do. So even if it was an effect on this one, and that's great, if it wasn't, that's really good, and Rich Beam looking for it maybe is just like a spectator, I kind of would agree with that. But if they're using replays to see where balls landed and directing people where it's gone, maybe that's just Chinese whispers and that never happened, and let's hope it didn't. I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure they know their responsibilities, and this is all a fuss about nothing. But again, post comments down below. I don't know the answer. Good point, Coach. Thanks, Coach. Well done, Coach. Can you imagine being a member at Shinnecock? It would ruin you. Different tees. When we played Pinehurst, their tees were further back than where most of the other people playing would tee off from. The course wouldn't be set up the same way as well. I'm sure the Shinnecock members love their course, and it's very gameable as well as tough, depending on how they want to set it up. The American on-course reporter said to DJ, they said on the replay it was right about there, L9. See, I've heard that report a few times, L9. I could hear it on the Sky coverage, L9. I mean, if that is true, that has to be looked at. Surely that does not seem right at all. Post comments. Remember to hit the thumbs up button if you like the lives. This is an impromptu live just because it's all kicking off on the US Open. I'm just going to quickly look. I'm pretty sure if anyone's got any update on Phil Mickelson, he's posted a score today of 81. There's been no DQ'd as yet. I'm on the USPGA site here. Let's just have a look if there's been any updates. Oh, I've got two keyboards going here, guys. Sorry. There he is. Phil Mickelson, no, he is still posted today. 81. He's in. Plus 17. But it looks like that is a posted score, and there isn't a DQ unless suggestions or they're still trying to find. So let's move on to Phil. Evening, Mark. Hardest course in the UK. David Simmons, St Mellion, where we played recently. Very tough. Right, let's move on to Phil then. What are your thoughts on Phil? Now, this is quite an amazing thing here that's happened. This doesn't happen very often. I wonder if it's moved. Look at this. Is that just not refreshing? Let me just quickly check this. I did a poll. Phil, what do you think? Do you think it was fair or not? And then I've got DQ or 2-shot penalty on there as an option. It's 49% DQ, 51% penalty. And it was 50-50 for most of it. Oh my word, I've never seen a poll so split down the middle. Excuse me. In all my life. The rules official said there's no reason to DQ him for hitting moving ball. It was fully dealt with appropriate rule. Agreed broadcasters should not assist in finding balls unless they do it for every player, which they won't. Again, that's where we're moving on now, but thanks for that. No reason to DQ. He broke a particular rule and has been punished for it. End of story. Clive. So, Clive, is it the end of story, though? That's the bigger question. Obviously, you want it to be end of story. That's fine. I get that. Lots of people like to just close discussions like that. End of story. Surely the etiquette rule there has to be thought about. He has consciously hit that putt knowing it's going off the green. Think about the moving ball rule. The moving rule ball is not there for people to hit it when they think it's about to go in a hazard or roll off a green or do something crazy. The moving ball rule is there because sometimes the ball moves as you're addressing it. It's in high grass and you're just about to swing, and as you start down it moves and you can't stop yourself and you hit it. Or, it's those kind of things. It moves into a practice swing almost, but that's unintentional, I guess. Phil's being interviewed now. Robin, let us know what he says. He just got interviewed. He didn't feel like hitting the ball from the same spot. No question it was going off the green. Phil is being interviewed right now. Okay, so obviously getting people. Where would the ball have ended up if he didn't hit it 50 yards? It would have gone a long way off. Phil will pull out. There will be a withdrawal. Rob thinks. Paul O'Neill thinks, sorry. Or was it Rob? Rob Wells thinks, sorry. Cool, it's going quick. Phil is on now. Surely he intentionally interfered after altered the outcome, and I think most of us mere mortals would have been DQ'd. For me personally, I'm more edging towards DQ for that. I think it's an intentional. It's almost taking the mick out of the event, isn't it? He is laughing. He's having a laugh at the way it's set up. He's frustrated. He's playing off a green. This is a major. I mean, this isn't like mucking around. This should be pretty serious. It's the pinnacle of our sport, and he's hitting a moving ball because he's giggling at where that putt will come off. I mean, if that is not a breach of etiquette, I'm not saying the course isn't set up silly. I'm not saying that he was wrong to do it. There's a part of me that quite likes his flamboyantness and the fact that he's taking a stand. But etiquette-wise, that's not what the moving ball rule is there for, is it? That's not what the moving ball rule was set up for. Hi, Mark Scott from New York. Hi. He just stated he didn't mean any disrespect, but if people took it that way, he apologised. Yeah. Now, there's a thing called media training, people. Come on. I mean, there isn't a clever media person in the limelight who wouldn't say that after they've done something which is blatantly laughing at the situation that he found himself in. It's almost like he was playing who can get in the quickest. Know anyone who done that before? Yes, coach, me, and I got punished by not getting picked for county teams for doing that. So, yeah, absolutely. I feel sorry for Beef. Beef seemed to be just laughing about it. If you see him walking off the green, you actually hear him, I think you see him mouth saying, I didn't know what you were doing, and they're giggling about it. But again, that's another good point. That's going to be quite off-putting, confusing for your partner. Not that this should matter at all. Beef is also 18 over par at the bottom of the cut field, so he probably doesn't care either and probably feels like it was quite a funny thing to do. Why does the US PGA choose this style of course? Surely they need to rethink and pick friendlier courses, possibly. I agree it should be a DQ. You can't chase your ball down because it's gone off, roll off the green. No way you can play tomorrow, surely. He should go ahead and withdraw. Bad form is why you're all over there. So here you go. I think it should be a DQ. I think it's disrespectful to the event. I think it absolutely is a statement on what he feels like that certainly that pin position is set up like. That doesn't make me dislike him. I love him. I think he's great. It's actually quite entertaining, and I can kind of understand why he did it. Phil needs to walk away from the event. Poor decision, and he knows he has done wrong. He is better than that. Hashtag walk, Phil, walk. From Dan Hendrickson. Hi, Dan. Thanks for joining. Has 100 reporters around him now. Over and out, Army. See you later, coach. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Mark. Do you think the biggest problem with Phil's situation is his effect on his playing partner? Is very unprofessional, should be DQ'd by coach. Get up, Dan. On his career, sort of. Sorry, that's part of it. What's happened? I joined late. Well, we're just about to end, Joe, so you'll have to watch the rerun, I'm afraid. I want to hear your opinions. Post comments down below. I want to know your opinions on the broadcast. They're helping DJ to find the ball. Was the replay used or not? Can anyone confirm? Are the broadcasters talking about it? There's 3 questions I'd love to know. Or are they just ignoring it because they know they've done wrong? Or have they actually admitted and said, we did nothing wrong, we didn't use the replays, la-di-da-da. Post comments down below. I think it's amazing that no one's talking about it, apart from possibly, and again, this is just putting it out there. This isn't my opinion, but just more of something to think about. Maybe no one's talking about it because the media are quite good at controlling what the media put out and then what is talked about, which is why I love channels like this and YouTube. And I know I get in trouble, and I know people find it hard, but with some of the conversations I've had, but we need them, and we need these kind of outlets because there are mafia in this game, unfortunately. So anyway, let me know what you think. Why is no one talking about it? I would love to know. Second question, should Phil be DQ'd or not? I know it's a 50-50 split. But just think more carefully about where you think his feelings were towards that pin position, the event, when he walked off that ball, which was definitely rolling downhill. Also, the other question I would want to know the answer for more is, if you don't think it's a DQ, which is fine, because again, I don't know. Do you think the moving ball rule is actually in place for what he did? Because it's not, is it? The moving ball rule is not there because of what he did. The moving ball rule is there for if it moves when you're just about to hit it on all, the wind blows it, or it's on like a slope and you take a backswing as you come in, it starts to move and you hit it. It's those kind of things, isn't it? It's not there because you can run after it if you don't like where it's going to finish, is it? If we're honest with ourselves. Post comments down below. As always, I would love to hear your opinions. Thanks for joining me. That went on far longer than it should have. But you know me. I don't ask to talk, don't I? I can't stop. Post comments, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you don't already. Who's going to win the US Open? Dustin is coming back a bit, isn't he? Let's just quickly check in on the leaderboard. Actually, just quickly before we finish, where is he now? I saw he dropped 2 today, just in a few holes. He's coming back. Oh, sorry, I'm back. Self-production, you see. Sometimes I hit the wrong button. It's this keyboard. I will learn that in a second. Where is DJ now? As we sign off, he's 2 over today after 3, but I'm sure he's going to get back because he is a class player. Thanks all for watching. Hit the thumbs up button as always. Speak to you soon. That was a fun one.